Welcome to Simon on the Sofa. Thank you for joining us as always, and today I'm very excited and also to be in the presence of two divine, feminine, wonderful women, girls, ladies. Look at me, I'm like a child. So yeah, here I'm with today today I'm with the wonderful Alexandra and Gemma. And these are the girls from Prediction magazine. Some of you may know them, some of you may not. And we've decided today to have a transparent conversation on a huge topic at the moment. It seems to be coming up a lot wherever we are, you know, whether you're into a spiritual journey or not, and it's the divine feminine. If we say divine feminine, what comes up?
I think Al was teaching angelic Reiki this weekend, so it resonates very strongly with her at the moment. A lot of stuff came up for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially because I taught level 1 and 2 last weekend, and then level 3 and 4 on the weekend just gone, and it went across the full moon energy, so it seemed to bring in the full moon energy in both, and there was a lot of kind of full moon visualizations coming up for people when we were doing the healing, and we had a lot of Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Isis and Mary Magdalene energy going on. It seemed to be recurrent throughout the group, and it was, both workshops were mostly women, but I had one man in each workshop, and each guy, two different guys, one weekend and one the other, but they were both so in touch with their feminine side, very balanced in their masculine feminine energies, which is really, really lovely, and really not threatened at all by the females around them. And it's really nice to see as well when you have such a big group of women. It's nice to see different aspects of female strength, and I know one of the girls on my course was saying that she's quite quiet and she's quite gentle, and sometimes she doesn't always feel that, you know, she can be a loud kind of person to get her point across. And one of the things that came up for her was that there is major strength in just being gentle and just being yourself. And I just found that so refreshing, and that seemed to be a recurrent theme throughout the whole both workshops, yeah, which is really lovely. And I find that that's sort of something that's coming up for me, especially this year. A lot of the time I'm sort of, instead of kind of the term wading into the fray and, you know, feeling like you have to fight your cause, it's sort of becoming more of a kind of surrender and go with the flow, go with the cycles, and like, which is, you know, reminiscent of the moon as well, and just allow things to happen. And, you know, you can speak your truth from a place of calm and serenity, and that doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to shout about it to be strong. You can be strong and be soft and be feminine and be comfortable in that. So that to me is very much embracing your divine femininity, I suppose.
And divine power.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think all of that's synonymous with the times as well, because we're moving into the Aquarian age, and I think that's such a quintessentially feminine age, you know, from the Piscean raw patriarchy and hierarchy and structure and knowledge, and, you know, everything's kind of very linear. And the Aquarian age is defined by this really beautiful surrender and just a kind of voluptuous being.
Like a flow, isn't it? That real flowing of, yeah, you're bringing in
the stars. I don't know, I'm not too familiar with you know, the stars and stuff, but I'm Pisces, so but in terms
it's got nothing to do with you're a patriarch.
You're so masculine, love.
Bless you.
Like she said, Pisces. I'm like, oh man,
No.
I thought I was doing really good, you know, working on my feminine side and being more
You're
loving.
in touch with your feminine side.
Oh, you are.
Stop it. No, but it's interesting you say that, because for people that may be not familiar with that, but this year of Aquarian, do you want to share a little bit about that? That sounds really intriguing.
Cool. So the Piscean age, we're just coming out of that, and that's been a massive period of structure and institutions, and it's a very masculine oriented age. And that's now going into the Aquarian age. You know the musical Hair?
Yeah.
That's all about, this is the dawn, you know, the age of Aquarius. That's where we're coming into now. And there was a flash of it in the 60s, and now it's really coming into show.
Okay, so that's a cyclical, like you said.
Yeah.
It's like in the 60s it was there,
Yeah.
and then now it's emerging again. And that's what a lot
it.
of people have been talking about across like astrology and so on, tuning into the stars. And in terms of like, because obviously, as I shared with you both earlier, we have this whole thing about International Women's Day the other day. But in terms of like, from you, well, question to you first, Gemma, is that in terms of like divine feminine, because it's a terminology that a lot of people are not familiar with, right? It's quite rare. Maybe if they've been on a spiritual journey or been looking at that, you know, those areas. But it's not just a spiritual thing. This is really just about women really overcoming years and years of suppression, right?
Yeah.
So how does the divine feminine even within you show up, and or has done for your, you know, for your journey?
Well, I think for every woman and every man as well, they all have a sense of what it is. But I went to an astrology reading the other day, and she said, you know, I'm Aries, on the cusp of Aries and Taurus, and I always like to kind of err on the side of Taurus because it's more kind of Earth Mother and grounded and stable, whereas Aries is very fiery and you know, aggressive. So the astrologer was saying, well, you know, you're quite fiery and aggressive. And I'm like, oh, shock horror, that's not me. But actually, when you think about it, yes, there is that in me, but I kind of push it down quite a lot. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's a feminine thing. Totally, if it's, you know, coming through you. So, and
it's so when you say pushing it down in terms of like you're aware of it, but you feel that
always
from
pretending.
Pretending not from like a judging perspective, that I can't be quite fiery and quite, you know, strong, explosive, and you know, informative.
They're quite masculine. Masculine.
Again, generalization, because not every, a lot of men are very gentle, and very, you know, actually on maybe swaying a little bit too far on the feminine, you know, finding that balance. That's interesting. So in terms, just for you, what are you doing are you bringing that back in? Are you bringing that from a divine feminine perspective? Are you harmonizing that?
Yeah, well, I think it's part of everyone's spiritual journey to just be in the body and recognize what's coming up and just embracing that and thinking, okay, acknowledgement, and how can I healthily incorporate this into my life, and how can I healthily be these aspects in a feminine way.
The full aspects of whatever's there.
That's it,
Wonderful, wonderful, yes.
So Al, you're going to see some feisty woman.
I know.
Yeah, they work together. It's going to be like that. In the kitchen now, make lunch, all right? Yeah, I'm doing the writing today. You get on.
All right. I've been told.
In your place. No, so what the same sort of, what comes out of that from a personal experience as well.
From a personal experience, especially over the last couple of years, I found, things have been moving very, very fast for me, and I found that obviously I've had to step into a leadership role on prediction in more ways than one, because I became the editor, and then obviously we left the publishing house, so now I'm doing like 100 million jobs more than that, and I kind of found it a huge learning curve to suddenly be elevated to this role of like leader in a way. And you know, being a woman, I think a lot of us struggle with that term, and how do you do that and still be a nice person? Like I really worry sometimes. I don't want to be bolshy, I don't want to be you know, too bossy, or you know, something like that. It's about kind of feeling comfortable standing in your own power and saying, yes, I am a leader, yes, I am fully qualified to do this, and I'm able to do this, and I'm strong enough to do this. And it doesn't mean that I can't do this from a position of love and a position of calm and a position, but you know, when I first got thrown into the role of editor, I was like, oh cripes, well, you know, how am I gonna manage a team? I didn't have any idea how to do it.
But embodied that and took it on, you know. And
luckily I have a bloody amazing team, and you know, we're all women who work on the mag actually, and we're a wonderful team, really small team, but we are balanced. We're really balanced.
And support each other.
We do support each other.
I think that's the key thing. Something you said there. I was speaking to my partner Anna recently, and you know, she was also saying that the idea of stepping into the leader power, etc., is also not necessarily what men want to see as well. So she was saying that like a lot of men are not ready to actually allow a woman to embody that balance. Now, we're clear that some women go overboard, don't we? Because we know that a lot of women have to battle their way into, I call them leadership roles, like you said, or power or whatever. I don't really like the term power dominating, because you know, that's almost embodying the out of aligned, in my perspective, the out of aligned masculine energy, which has just been like, you know, we're going to take over the world, we're going to, you know, be the best organization in the world, and you know, you're under me in this competitive you know, competitive energy. But it's really interesting to see that it's women find it hard to embody that, but then also men find it hard to also allow that. So, you know, there's like this almost still a resistance energy there, isn't there, to really, and this is in terms of not just business. I know you're mentioning business, but this is, you know, personal as well, right? Relationship, man, to, you know, friends and so on. Some women are not happy with it even when their friends step into their more power and light. You know, what does that bring up?
Well, at the moment, I don't know if he wants me to talk about it, but
you can talk about absolutely.
Your
partner. Your partner.
He's a bit of a wind-up as well. He's a real jokester. But at the moment, obviously, we're talking about the future and whether or not we're going to get married and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't want to change my name.
Yeah.
And he is really not coping with this at all. But part of me, I can't figure out if he's just trying to really wind me up because he knows it really matters to me.
Yeah.
Or if it actually really matters to him. And so I don't know, I haven't got to the bottom of it yet. But I actually, quite interestingly, met another lady the other day, a friend of a friend, and I didn't even have to kind of get involved in the argument because she fought my corner for me. She was like, I'm absolutely not changing my name, it's ownership, it's this, it's that. And I'm like, well, I like my name, I like my own energy. It's taken me this long to step into kind of who I am and my power and own my name. Why am I going to go out there and change it again?
Yeah,
so
that's a real interesting concept, isn't it? Because it's beyond. It's beyond actually the idea of name, because a name's just a name, right? But it's actually, more importantly, it's about this same conditioning that seems to be coming through from past, from religion, from you know, because if you remember, marriage, the bond of marriage is just two beautiful people coming together, if you want to call, just because the conversation is about divine beings that have worked on themselves, done their inner work, you know, stepped into their own shoes, really feel empowered and feel you know, feel like they're here, in this celebration of this life. And then we're being told and dictated to that actually we can't come together in a bond unless it's this bond of marriage, which is a religious thing as well, which a lot of us are not necessarily religious, but you know, there's still that I suppose that dogma or past energy of how a marriage should be. Do you know what I mean? Whereas actually a true bond, a true union of self-love and trust, you know, I'm not saying that there doesn't have to be a bond or a ring or a marriage, but do we actually necessarily even need that now? Just as a point of, I'll throw that over to you.
What are you, Gemma?
I wrote a feature on soulmates and twin flames the other day, and it is about two people coming together who have done work on themselves, and it's almost as if they're in their final incarnation, almost, because they've done so much and they're almost at the point of enlightenment, I guess. And in order to reach that next step, they come together and then they help each other towards enlightenment. So by embodying your divine feminine and by embodying your divine masculine and really being there, and then coming together in this beautiful relationship that is completely balanced, and then all of this contracty nonsense
or conditioning or ideas of other people, theories, concepts, even beliefs. You actually transcend belief, don't you?
That's it.
That's really interesting. And obviously you teach yoga as well, and yoga again is about energy, right? So we're talking here as well, beyond even words and names and so on, but we're talking about a divine union.
Yeah.
Because that's what yoga is, right?
Absolutely.
Really? Divine union with body, mind, body, spirit, as it were.
Yeah.
So you're getting that within yourself and then wanting to get that with a partner and then also come together to elevate.
Yeah. And how beautiful is that? How beautiful.
Yeah, when it happens, because it's a lot. It's hard. It looks beautiful in hand motion, doing that. It's so fluid. The flow, it just flows like that. You're both coming together. You're complete. You come together. You connect. You elevate. Bliss.
There's no fighting over the dishes or anything like that. No.
There's no arguing into it. No. But, my partner's reading, I think it's called Dancing Dancing with Wolves, I think it was, not Dancing with Wolves the film, or Dance with, I can't remember the full name, but what's great, she was saying as well about this whole thing that when two people come together, which is talking about archetypes and so on, when a couple come together, male, female, male, male, whatever it is, and you come together in union, then in that meeting, each individual is bringing something with them, which it gives you the ability to go on that journey that you just said, that journey of growth, elevation, some call it enlightenment or whatever. And it's not always about it just being all rosy and hunky-dory and it's all great. There's another thing about the understanding those energies. Do you see what I mean? Because actually sometimes a bit of friction or a little bit of tension or whatever that comes from it gives you the ability to look at what you're experiencing. So with you and your partner, for example, there's something there, whether he's joking and winding up or not, but there's, isn't there? Do you see what I mean by that? Because to go, oh, okay, well, who are we with this? Marriage is here, but how do me and you feel about that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's completely so interesting, and it does make you look at yourself, and it's made me look at myself and go, why do I feel so strongly about this? Yeah. And it's something that I've always maintained, even when I was young, even when I was like, why do you have to change your name? I never understood it. But I also came from quite a matriarchal family. My mother rules with an iron fist. It's not my dad. My dad's very quite, calm, relaxed, easygoing. And I wonder if it's part of that. I used to go to school and kids would be like, oh, I better ask my dad. And I'd be like, what, do you ask your dad? My mum's in charge of my house. So I don't know if maybe it comes from that, but part of it is I like my name, I like who I am, and I don't really want to change the energy of that. And
you may not have to, I know whether he's watching or not, but you may not have to. You might be mucking around because, we have to look deeper at the, what's coming up for us in terms of that attachment. Because again, it's attachment, but a slight attachment from your side as well to holding a name, slight attachment to his name to wanting a name. So there's something to look at there in terms of attachment, acceptance and allowing and seeing what comes out and both coming to that mutual, which again is a beautiful thing because you can both talk about coming to a mutual place. Wonderful. I'm just thinking, I know these talks go really fast, but like in terms of like divine feminine, because I've got two wonderful girls. Do you like being called girls, ladies, women?
Sheilas.
Sheilas.
Power to the Sheilas.
Power to the Sheilas. All right, Sheila. What's your name, Sheila? What's your favourite colour, blue? No, stop it. That's so bad. So bad. Sorry. Yeah, in terms of like people listening to this and really, taking on board that concept, let's, in a nutshell, sort of what is, in today, 2012, talking about the evolution of our species, we're talking about how living a more authentic, transparent, loving way, we can really transcend the energy that we are, the 60 trillion cells that we are, and emanate that ripple out to the universe, right? And we're becoming more aware through the internet and the information that's being shown to us of how we can show up in relationship and so on. So just what would be lovely to hear from two unique individuals like yourselves as well, like we're all unique, right, is what does divine feminine mean for you in 2012 right now as an individual, and what what women have the ability to move into? Well, that's for you both, but one at a time.
I think what women can now start to embrace and teach men and teach everyone about is embracing your emotions and also embracing the unpredictability of life, because for women, a lot of women find our emotions are unpredictable. They get the better of us all the time, especially during the monthlies. You're like, why do I feel like this? And I think more and more these days, people are just having to let go of any form of control. And you can see that with the financial situation and everything else going on in the world. It's almost like the world is becoming more feminine. Mother Earth is sort of coming out to play, and nothing is predictable, nothing is controllable. So you just have to let go and go with it, and if you're having a bad day, just go with it. If you're having a good day, just go with it. But it's, to me, it's also about creativity. It's about just expressing yourself however it feels right to do, and not putting people in boxes, because everybody is different. And to me, the divine feminine accepts us all as we are, warts and all, because it's that nurturing, mothering energy. A mother loves her child regardless of, it's unconditional, it's regardless of what they're about, what they look like, what sexuality they are, what job they're going to do when they're older. So I think that we could all learn a lot from that aspect of things as the world is shifting and ascending.
And embody that within ourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you very much.
I don't know where that came from.
No, nice.
Mother Earth.
Mother Earth, yeah, she's speaking through us as us. We are us, right? We are Earth, we are creation, we are connected. Gemma, please.
I think Al's hit the nail on the head, and I think to access that is to be supremely present and be, well, just explore the present moment, how it feels to you now, because everybody has access to that wisdom and to that within them, and poof, there you go, there it is, it's there. So lose all of the, you know, superfluous society stuff, whatever, any expectations, any of that, and just come here, and you've got it.
Wonderful.
I think. Yeah.
So trust in yourself.
That's it.
Yeah, trust in your own intuition, trust in what you're feeling, and as an individual, and then embody that and be okay with that.
Jump from here to here, and there.
So and it's interesting you say from here to out of the head into the heart. So yeah, thank you. That's really wonderful. Yeah, and I'd like to say from a man's perspective, being, you know, from being deemed as being more masculine, you know, of energy and so on, is that I see the divine feminine, divine masculine as one. So I don't, you know, even when we talk about them, like I had a talk with the guys about divine masculinity, which is great, and with you guys about divine femininity, but I see them as one, because the divine feminine encapsulates both as that, you know, as that united field of both energies, accepting, connecting to all that is, being part of something indescribable and not being locked in low frequency. And then the divine, and vice versa, exactly the same. The male has the ability to embody that feminine energy. And actually, really, one of the things that, talking about Women's Day, is celebrate this, because you know, I'm just getting a mirror reflection of myself right now, right? And again, and you get, you know, beautiful. You know, it's like, you know, do you see what I mean? And you get that with everybody that you choose to look at. If when you look at the reality from a completely, you know, new perspective, which isn't so, you know, suppressed. Because let's be honest, society itself is suppressing us, you know, and suppressing our sexuality immensely, which we sort of spoke a little bit about when we first met. Cool. Okay, so anything you want to throw in there from any of that? Just, we got like a minute, you know, just to, you know, throw out people listening to you and so on. And no, that was, I mean, it was lovely what you shared, but no, feel good. Just women power, man power, unity power.
Nice.
Thank you guys as always for tuning in. We could talk, you know, for a lot longer. It's really a pleasure to have you listening. These lovely ladies run a beautiful magazine called Prediction Magazine, which I will be putting the links to on the site. Do check them out. You know, they're really authentic. They're really sharing a true message in 2012, and there's a whole heap of free stuff on their websites and stuff like that. So, you know, check them out. And thank you as always. Be gentle on yourself, and also trust you are part of something beyond words. And you know, you just have to shift your perception. And if you're already in that perception, then just, you know, continue the celebration of life, right?
Too right.
Totally.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.